with Hawbecker and Garver, and I'm here to go over a few more paragraphs of the 8.0 contract. So I'm going to share my screen. Paragraph 18 is about the deed. Okay, this is a document that transfers the property from the seller to the buyer. There are 4 types. There's a trustee deed, normally used, of course, when the seller is owning the property in a trust. There's also a general warranty deed, which is the one that's most commonly used. Basically, the seller is transferring the property to the buyer and warranting everything in the past of the transaction to the buyer, or past of the title. There is a special warranty deed. That means that they are only warranting anything from when they have owned the property. And then there's a quitclaim deed, which warrants nothing. Essentially, you only want a quitclaim deed when, of course, it's transferring between like spouses or from yourself, to your own trust or to an LLC or something like that. Okay. That being said, if the seller wants to give you a special warranty deed, that's okay, because you are going to have title insurance on the property, and we'll go over that in a little bit. Okay. On paragraph 19, there is municipal ordinance and transfer taxes. So some villages do require to provide, or that you have to pay for transfer taxes. Sometimes it's charged to a seller, sometimes it's charged to a buyer. Or sometimes it's split. It just really depends on the municipality. They also sometimes require a village or city inspection prior to you being able to sell the property. So what you want to do is, when you're going to list the property or buy, you want to check to see if the village requires any sort of transfer stamps or if they require any sort of village inspection. The villages can be slow on this, and you want to make sure that you get that handled right away. Sometimes you can have it done prior to you even entering the market or getting a contract. You just want to check with the municipality on what the requirements are and timing, because of course also those could expire, right? So some of the villages say you can have your inspection once we provide the inspection report and village approval. You have it for 90 days and then it expires. So you want to check on that. Also, the villages, sometimes if they come out, it could take a while to get an inspector out to your property. And if they do come out, they might have certain repairs that you need to make in order to sell the property. And then you have to make those repairs, and then they have to recheck it, right? So all of that could take some time. Just so you know, as is, or the paragraph in the contract that says that you have the right to inspection but not make any requests, those are not affected by this, right? Or this is not affected by those. So basically, you as a seller still have to have this village inspection, and you do have to have everything done in order to close on the property and get village or city approval, regardless of if your buyer is purchasing as is, or regardless if they said they would have an inspection and not make any requests. Of course, that is negotiable. So if you want to discuss that with your buyer and try to have them take on repairs after closing, you can, of course, negotiate that. Okay. And then there's paragraph 20 regarding title. So basically, title insurance is provided by a seller to a buyer. Basically, what it means is that the title company is insuring the past of the property and title. So essentially, they're checking to make sure that the seller has the right to sell to you, that someone's not going to come out of the woodwork and say that they own the property and seller should have never sold the property to you. They're also checking to make sure all taxes have been paid up in full, that there's no liens on the property, also that there's no open mortgages on the property. So if something like that pops up later after you've purchased, you can go back to the title company and make a claim with them and say, hey, Joe Schmo roofer came out. He said that he put a new roof on this property. No one paid him. What am I supposed to do here? And they're supposed to defend you in that suit. Okay. If you have any questions or concerns, always feel free to reach out, and we are happy to help. Thanks.